Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Gemini. If Gemini is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. And so our card tonight is the Strength or Lust card. Okay, let's see what these tea leaves have to say tonight. Okay. And if you have not subscribed, please think about doing that. You can hit the little bell. It'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. Okay. All right, so I want to start on this side, actually, and just look at this real quick. We have a 2 right here, so 2 is an important number. We have a 3 right here. Okay. So I want to go right here. Let's start here. First of all, I'm looking up here. We have a person who looks like they're yelling. Okay. And then over here, and where did you go? I was just looking at you. Yeah, we have a person that looks like they're yelling, and it did look different before. It must have turned a bit. And maybe another person down here as well. Okay, and I feel like, so I'm looking at all this. I also see, it almost looks like a little badger doing kind of mathematics or drawing something on like a board or some kind of learning, right? Doing their lessons. And so I feel like maybe, and I hate this to be so heavy from the beginning, but it seems like you maybe started out in a household where, there was maybe a good amount of argumentative kind of interactions. It maybe was sometimes a little hostile, and I think that you probably really immersed yourself in maybe your education, whatever that looked like, if that was academic or if it was, just going out and working, learning different skill sets, or, just being kind of taking care of yourself, being kind of in the streets or streetwise or whatever it is. And so, I think that this really, from the beginning, you had to call upon your strength to kind of get your head out of that atmosphere. And I don't know that it was, so terribly, it could have been bad, right? There could have been a lot of turmoil. It could have been very chaotic. But maybe, it also was that your parents or caregivers were like having a divorce, or, things, it was the kind of style of communication. It was maybe kind of where you lived. And I can tell you, and this is a generalization, it really is, but I grew up in California. I lived there. I've lived on the East Coast, kind of in the like the Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York area, and I've lived in the upper Midwest. Okay, and I've been to a lot of other places, but I will say that people have generally kind of different ways of talking to one another, interacting with each other, even out in public. I mean, I cannot remember the last time I witnessed people arguing in public, with, strangers anyways. I rarely see anybody having like road rage. I'm sure it happens, but it's not that it's better. It's just different, right? Come here, T. Come on, Mama. Tee. And so, what I'm trying to get to is that it's not always that the arguing or the loud speaking or being more aggressive, outwardly aggressive, is kind of a place of like abuse or whatever. It could be that it's more of just how people speak to each other in your local area, right? But I think that, no matter what, sometimes we're just not made to live that way. Like, I'm from California. I'm proudly a Californian, right? But, I've gotten really kind of soft, I think. And even the people that I love, that I, are still friends with, it's just a different way of being. It's just the communication style is different. And I get my feelings hurt easily, especially with people I know personally. So sometimes we are definitely the product of like where we grow up, but we don't always fit in, do we? So I feel like this, you maybe were, you escaped this by those educations that you pursued, and that got you out of there, right? Now I'm seeing, I need to take a drink. My goodness. My throat is so dry. I accidentally fell asleep when I was putting the baby to bed. And then I woke up and my throat's super dry. I was probably snoring. So anyways, we have a dog here, okay? And it's looking, and there are 3 different ways to go. Okay, so the dog to me is such a clever, loyal, beloved being. When we see the symbols here, you might think, oh, are you calling me a dog, Lenor? No, I'm saying that you have attributes akin to our canine friends. And so, I think that you really do have that resolve. You just stay with the thing that you are doing. Now you're coming to a place where things are changing a little bit. And I think that you have a major decision to make. You have 3 options, right? And maybe this is like where you're going to live, what you're going to do next. Are you going into another career path, another job, another position? Oh! TT! So apparently TT did not like me talking about dogs. She just tore everything right down. So anyhow, I forget where we were at with the dogs. But yes, 3 choices. And we're, really kind of deciding what is next for us. Now, I wanted to look at this one. We have a person here who looks like they have a little... Oh, and let me turn this light here. Everything is just I give up. We have a person here who has like a little wishbone. We have a heart right here that's kind of upside down. And then it looks like we have a little fire. And we have a cat right here. Oops. I moved it. We have a little cat right there. And right above, kind of on, it looks like on the mantle. So that's kind of a lovely little picture. Hopefully that cat is not tearing down the tablecloth or anything else that's up there. I feel like there really is a sense of passion, of wild attraction. We have that lust card right there. And I think that really there's kind of a sense of, kind of making a wish that this maybe will come to a place where, the love is met, right? The love is equally given back. Now, if this is in a new relationship, then yeah, I feel like you're really, there's a sense of deciding. You're making a decision. Are you going forward with this? Are you going to, are you going to court this person? Are you going to move on to the next step, maybe move in or get married or whatever? But this could be an older, I should say, a long-term relationship. Maybe you've been together for years, maybe you're married, but you are coming back into a place, I think, where there's a sense of that fire being rekindled, growing back together towards one another. And I think really, being in prayer towards that, really putting your intention with that lucky wishbone, really knowing that you have the universe on your side. And, and I think that this is going to be a really intense and beautiful time for you. Okay, I think the big thing here is figuring out how you can kind of stay the course, right? When things do get difficult, not feeling like, kind of running off away from this thing, or just letting it kind of be as it is. Being brave and saying the things that you want to say, doing the things that you want to do, right? Okay, so this one's kind of creepy. We have, it looks like a skull right here. You can see the face, the mouth, the body here. And it looks like it's kind of, now there's that dog again, but really when we look at it this way, kind of, it does look like a person. Like this is standing on the person. And we have, and I want to see if I can even get it on here the way that I'm seeing it. There's one figure right here that looks like it's kind of haunting. It has like almost like a screaming face to it. And I wish that I could just get this close enough. It's right here. Okay, so altogether, I really do. I see kind of... I don't know that there's really a sense of death in your life right now, actively, like somebody passing on. But I think that you definitely go through these periods of time where you're very focused on maybe worrying about your health or, just you're wanting to engage in life. Maybe that you feel like, oh, I've thrown away so much time. The world has like crushed me, or in thinking it's all slipping through my fingers. It's going so fast, and these kinds of things that we think. And, really, I look at this and I believe, this is a place where we kind of in some ways we go to make ourselves feel bad. We like to hurt our own feelings for some reason. And it just is. It's like part of the human condition for some reason, for some odd odd reason. And I think that it's not a bad thing to live close to death. And I mean the idea, the concept, the archetype. To be so detached from it that it comes as quite a surprise when it happens in your life, or you've never experienced any kind of death or a death process or anything like that, can be very painful. I think it's important for us to know about the process, to not shy away from it, to really kind of look it in the face in the ways that we can and safely, right? And this is why we have, great rituals like, during like the Day of the Dead and all these kind of remembrance days and things like Halloween and the imagery and all of this, because we dance with death. It is ever with us. And, and hopefully it is something that we do not remain afraid of our whole lives, because that is such a burden, and in psychology, psychotherapy, there's a lot of literature about the idea of the death drive and it being one of our core motivators. So I think it's important for us in the ways that we can to befriend the idea of death. That is not to romanticize it or anything like that, but to begin to integrate this part of this process, to think of it more abstractly or as a concept, and to be able to learn about it, to look at the imagery and arts and a lot of beautiful paintings and engravings and so much literature and poetry and and I think that's one of the ways that, well, I really believe, the arts are a gift to us from the divine. They are, but it is an act of sublimation. This is how we softly, experience these concepts, these things we've never even thought about sometimes, in a way that doesn't feel so direct, so that we can begin to look at them, to inspect them, to contemplate them. Okay. So I look at this and I don't think, okay, this is like, big bad things coming. No, I think that this is kind of an existential dread that comes into play, especially when things are going well. That's when these things love to come up. And we do. I think sometimes, like I said, we like to hurt our own feelings. We like to knock ourselves down a peg, right? So the better things are, sometimes the worse we can feel, which is, the terrible way to be living. But I think sometimes it gets the best of us, right? And so, I think actively engaging these feelings, looking at them and being kind to yourself, right? I think that's so important. Okay, so my goodness, that cat, she just threw me off there. She did. A little wild thing. Okay. So, what do we have here? I was thinking of like one of those like it's a horse that has a stick. It's for kids to pretend they're riding a horse, like a toy like this, and I almost wonder if you had one of these, or if it was something in the family, like it was an heirloom kind of thing, handed down from like a grandparent, great grandparent. But it could also really, I think it symbolizes those beginning feelings of taking control when you're a child and you're learning how to do things, and you still can live so much in your imagination all of the time. But really, through that play acting, kind of beginning to learn those feelings of power and control over, the beast, and being able to, ride upon a gallop across, the plains or the desert or whatever. And so I think, there is kind of a sense of, and we see this even here in the strength lust card, right? The same kind of riding upon. And so I think that there is a sense of really looking for that kind of control once more, right? And I think that this is a good place, even with looking at these kind of death images. I think using something like active imagination, guided meditation, thinking about things, contemplating. I mean, really, I'm so into this like mode of contemplation lately. I think that this time of year really brings it on, but I think it's also kind of this point in my life where, I really feel like there needs to be an emphasis for myself, and I hope for others. I hope other people are taking time to just stop and consider things deeply. It doesn't have to feed into anything. It doesn't have to be a decision made. It doesn't have to be anything of great consequence to your life. But really getting into the practice of sitting with yourself and your thoughts, right? Exploring things out in your mind, okay? Not having to lean on always. And I have this problem. I think a lot of us do. I want an answer right now. I get on my phone. I, search it up. If I'm feeling, even more adventurous, I'll ask people, when I'm on social media. I'm on a break right now, but when I am, I'll ask people questions just to get their input, right? But I think there are times where we should sit and contemplate, and let our minds kind of wander, go through things and follow the line of association that happens in these times of deep contemplation, right? Okay, so let's see. We have the Mary Magdalene Oracle cards by Megan Watterson. And they say they're illustrated by Moonjube, I think it says. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Probably not. I often mispronounce things. All right. And these are kind of more of a traditional oracle card. Usually we're doing affirmation cards on here, but I wanted to get into... I am fully in Magdalena mode right now. And so... yes, that's who I wanted to spend some time with these next couple of months. Okay, it says, remembering, I know who I am. I know who I am. Okay, and this deck is so pretty. I really like it so much. It's kind of they're kind of collage, and they're beautiful, beautiful, beautiful cards. Remembering, I know who I am. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. All right, Gemini, I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always, always, always such a pleasure to be able to bring these messages to you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help so much. Also, if you have not subscribed, think about doing that. It is free to subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, if you want to leave a comment and let TT know she's been so naughty, that's all right. It's only happened like, I think 3 times. In all of the videos I've ever done, they've only pulled, usually it's Pudgy that pulls them down. So, yeah, I'm thankful for that. All right. Well, anyways, I love you. I love you. I love you, Gemini. We will talk soon. Take care of yourself. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.